Good afternoon and welcome to the premiere edition of the Michelle Nastasis LGBT Awareness Show. During our show, we'll have usually 4 segments, usually an advocate for one part of the LGBT community, a second segment on discrimination, a third segment on healthcare issues and other issues within the community, and then the fourth segment of our show will always be about one of my favorite groups, Trans Emotion, a group that I'm very, very familiar with, that I do a tremendous amount of work with. With me today is a very special guest, Gianna Cafton, and we're first going to show you a video that we take when we go out to teach. The name of the video is On the Day I Was Born, and if you would, go ahead and start to play that video, please.
On the day I was born, I was told, "You will never marry."
On the day I was born, I was told, "You are not fit to be a parent."
On the day I was born, I was called a faggot.
On the day I was born, I was called a dyke. On the day I was born, I was told never tell anyone who you really are.
On the day I was born, I was told, if they find out your secret, they will hate you.
On the day I was born, I was told you are not my child.
On the day I was born, I was called a he/she.
On the day I was born, I was called a freak.
On the day I was born, I was told, you would be better off dead.
On the day I was born, I was told, you are an embarrassment to our family.
On the day I was born, I was called abnormal.
On the day I was born, I was called an abomination.
On the day I was born, I was told, God hates you. On the day I was born, I was told, you don't belong.
Okay, that's some pretty powerful stuff to start off our show with. With me today is one of the leading advocates here in town for the bisexual and transgender communities, Gianna Cafton. Gianna, tell us a little bit about what your perception is about that video.
My perception about that video is that's a really powerful thing to say, and a lot of people don't understand. They need to be educated on the bisexual and transgender community. And the way I see it is that we get a lot of negative feedback, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Okay, you said we. Can you go into that a little further?
We, as in bisexual and transgender communities. Everybody in the LGBT community has been, shut out, has been, disrespected, and that is, to us, it's not proper behavior, and they need to be educated.
Okay. Speaking of disrespect, have you had instances in your own particular journey where you have been disrespected with regards to health care, to transportation, even into housing and other things?
Yes, I have been disrespected in the way where transportation, like fax. Fax has been disrespecting everybody in the community. The fax people do not understand this. We have been trying, as I'm trying as an advocate for the transgender and LGBT communities, as well as bisexual. Bisexual has been pushed aside for so many years, and we have tried to at least educate a lot of people that don't understand.
Okay. Do you do any outside teaching?
I do outside teaching. I have been educating people for over 20 years. And since then, it has been my work that I do to educate people on the LGBT community, especially bisexual.
Okay. So you're picking up a lot of the slack that I do when I do my teaching then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. One of the issues that you brought up was transportation. Okay. Can you tell me some of the things that you have faced in transportation issues in terms of discrimination or outright refusal to allow you on the bus because of disability, or because I noticed that you do wear the rainbow wristband, and you also wear another wristband about the No Hate campaign.
Yes, I am a huge advocate of the No Hate campaign, as well as the rainbow bracelet all the time. It's like, it's very special to me that I go out and when I teach, and transportation is one of them. I get disrespected for not being on the bus, and you can't be on the bus because I have two chairs on the bus at all times. And I have been getting a lot of people that on fax does not allow me on the bus. And when it comes time to me to file the complaint, they don't, observe it. They do not look at the whole thing of what's going on.
Okay. I noticed that when you came in today, you were using a walker. Do you also use a wheelchair?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The few times that I have ridden fax, I've never really encountered too much of a problem, but I do know from time to time that wheelchairs do get kind of funny looks when you try to get on the bus.
Yes.
Have you faced that in your journeys?
I have faced that in my journeys, and the way I see it, that everybody needs to be educated for the LGBT community. And when I get faced with discrimination, health care, it's just horrible. I've been on this teaching of it for years, and over 20 years, I've seen a lot when I get disrespected for the mental health because I'm a bisexual person. I have been seeing a lot of people that are on health care. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of the communities that do not understand the LGBT community, they just push it aside and say, okay, this is not the proper behavior of them, but they do need to be educated about it.
Okay. Are you involved in the mental health system here in town?
No, I'm not, but I would like to be. So I
Okay.
can educate a lot of people that, that we are just human beings just as much as they are. And I see it, that they need to be appropriate, and they need to talk about this because it is pushed aside. When
Okay.
they push it aside, I see a lot of negative from them.
Okay. What about personal health care? Have you had any problems getting personal health care?
I had a little bit of problem at first, but then when I saw that my doctor looked at me as a human being just as much as he is only there for the health care, for the personal medical care. And he knows a lot about it, but he just, he goes on to be a doctor, and that's what I appreciate him for.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, have you faced any discrimination because of your sexual orientation in housing? Because that's one of the things that I teach about in my seminars is housing discrimination. That it is against the law to discriminate on the basis of gender or orientation or things of that nature. Have you faced that?
I have faced it. My last place that I lived in, that was in Clovis, I ended up receiving an eviction notice.
Because of your
Because
orientation?
of my orientation. And the office knew that of my gender, bisexual woman. And I know for a fact that it's happened to a lot of people in the community. And that's what I don't appreciate when I get an eviction notice and they said, well, because they switch it around to say, oh, because of the fact that you had bed bugs and all this. And that's not even the case. And when they decide to do what they do and just give me an eviction notice because of the fact that you had bed bugs or you had something to do, and it was just, I just had to leave. I couldn't understand why they did this to me.
Okay. In the final minute of this segment, I want you to expound just a little bit more on your current journey and some of the things that you're doing to raise awareness for the bisexual community.
Okay, my journey, and when I experience a lot of things, I educate people. I've been through this journey for over 20 years, and a lot of them understand where I'm coming from. And when I journey through this, and a lot of people are shocked and amazed by how much I've made awareness be in the LGBT community.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gianna, and I wish you the best of luck in your teaching, and thank you for being on the show today. Would you do me a favor and stick
Yes.
around for the rest of the show?
Yes, I will.
Okay, great. And we'll be back right after this.
What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55, Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero. Look at this house right across the street from Fresno City College. You could own it for $900 a month. Plus, it has an apartment you could rent out for $400 a month. Come to our open house this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Let the professionals at William L. Mitchell Landscaping make your lawn and gardens beautiful. If you need a new lawn, landscape design, or if you need someone to take over the weekly drudgery of caring for your yard, William L. Mitchell Landscaping can meet your needs. With his ornamental horticulture degree from Fresno State, Bill is qualified to take care of all phases of your landscape construction and design. Call Bill at William L. Mitchell Landscaping at 283-8849. That's Bill Mitchell, 283-8849.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and East, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow! I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
What? I'm Mike Briggs, owner and CEO at CentralValleyTalk.com. If you like talk radio, you'll love CentralValleyTalk.com. All local, all live, all the time. CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to the Michelle Nastasis LGBT Awareness Show. For our next segment, Gianna and I are going to talk about some a topic that a lot of people don't really know about, and that is well-known LGBT-friendly corporations. And the reason why I bring this up today is that the Target Corporation, a well-known department store chain, has come out and said point blank, we are LGBT-friendly. We will support the LGBT community. And in doing some research, Gianna brought to my attention that there are some here in town that are very well-known LGBT-friendly corporations that are fairly big. Some of those that she brought to my attention are companies like Wells Fargo, the Audi car company, Hilton Hotels. And I'm going to stop there for just a second to say that when I went to college, I went to the Hilton School of Hotel Restaurant Management, which was started by the late Baron Hilton to train hotel managers. And the Hilton Corporation itself, for the longest time, has been LGBT friendly. Another company that Gianna brought to my attention is Home Box Office, HBO. Gianna, let me move things up here. So there's a couple others that you brought to my attention. Number one is Golden One Credit Union here in
Yes.
town. Okay, tell me a little bit about your experiences with Golden One.
Golden One Credit Union is very, very supportive of the LGBT community. I have asked the management of the bank, of the credit union, and they said that they are in favor of it.
Okay. A lot of people ask me when I'm out and about one of the bracelets that I wear, and I'm going to take it off here for just a second. And I don't know if the camera can pick this up or not, but it is in memory of a young man by the name of Matthew Shepard. The Matthew Shepard Foundation was started by his parents, and I know you know the story because I've told you this 1,000 times, but Matthew Shepard was a gay University of Wyoming student that was kidnapped, beaten, and tortured and left tied to a fence in the middle of Wyoming in the wintertime. He passed away about 7 days after they found him. But tell me a little bit about what you know about the work that the Matthew Shepard Foundation does.
The Matthew Shepard Foundation is a very intense, and a lot of people are in memory of the Matthew Shepard Foundation. And I have been a big support of awareing people and educating people of everything that has to do with the LGBT community, Matthew Shepard Foundation. I have been very, very important in education and teaching, and a lot of people need to be educated for the Matthew Shepard Foundation.
Okay, I know that that's one of their primary goals is to educate the community, but they also, from what I understand, they have taken a very bold stance on developing a new generation of leadership of people in the LGBT community to raise awareness within the LGBT community on healthcare issues, on equality laws, and that's one of their biggest things. is equality laws. And California, as you well know, last year had a huge victory in front of the U.S. Supreme Court about same-sex marriages and the ENDA law. So tell me a little bit about your experiences, because I just noticed on your left hand that you do have a wedding ring on. So tell me about your experiences as a married woman, a married bisexual woman, and how it relates to some of the things that that the Matthew Shepard Foundation are taking to task and taking on as projects for the long term.
I have been experienced with the Matthew Shepard Foundation, and during that time, a lot of people have been educated and they know about Matthew Shepard. I was in deep hurt because I'm not only a bisexual woman, but also I have traveled far and tried to educate people as much as I can. And the way I look at it is you have to be the one to be educating people, because if you don't educate and they don't know, then you are pushed aside and feeling like that, number one, you're married. And when people are saying, okay, you're married, but, okay, I don't like this. I don't like what's going on, and I hate it. And there's a lot of hate crimes going on, and I do not appreciate hate crimes. In the LGBT community, we get a lot of hate, and by law, they are not supposed to be having hate crimes. And especially when you're married, like such as myself, when you do decide to at least be aware of what's going on, you need to understand it too. You need to let it sink into your heart mainly. And we're just as much human as the next human person, okay? LGBT community are the special ones, but we are also human. We make mistakes just as much as the next person. And you have to be, try to be at least a little bit educating people to have them understand. And a lot of them are saying, my gosh, I did not know. And that's how it is with me as a married woman. A lot of people say, well, why are you married? And I told them, I feel that my marriage has a lot of support with the LGBT community. And I thank God for a lot of things that's happened, like same-sex marriages, and doing a lot of teaching, education, be aware of what's going on. You have to be able to at least teach them, make them understand, and if they don't understand, that's fine too. You don't push that. You just educate them and make them aware of what's going on. And we, as a community, we understand a lot about people that don't understand. And we just don't push it. We just let them think how much awareness that I have taught, and if they accept it, fine, and if not, fine too.
Okay. Just for point of clarity, yes, I did ask Gianna if I noticed her wedding ring. Just for point of clarity, Gianna, by the way, is my wife. We got married about 2 months ago. So just so that you know what and why we talk about equality in marriage. And at that, we'll be back after this commercial message.
Look at this house right across the street from Fresno City College. You could own it for $900 a month. Plus, it has an apartment you could rent out for $400 a month. Come to our open house this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Let the professionals at William L. Mitchell Landscaping make your lawn and gardens beautiful. If you need a new lawn, landscape design, or if you need someone to take over the weekly drudgery of caring for your yard, William L. Mitchell Landscaping can meet your needs. With his ornamental horticulture degree from Fresno State, Bill is qualified to take care of all phases of your landscape construction and design. Call Bill at William L. Mitchell Landscaping at 283-8849. That's Bill Mitchell, 283-8849.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and East, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
Viewers of Central Valley Talk, what is your home worth? The experienced agents at Mike Briggs Properties are offering a free property valuation if you mention Central Valley Talk. Find the value of your property for free. Call Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758. Mention Central Valley Talk. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow, I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
What? I'm Mike Briggs, owner and CEO at CentralValleyTalk.com. If you like talk radio, you'll love CentralValleyTalk.com. All local, all live, all the time, CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
And welcome back to the Michelle Nastasis LGBT Awareness Show. Our next segment is a segment that is near and dear to my heart, and that is transgender health issues. Here's a little known fact for you. Approximately 1 in every 450 Americans identifies in some form or fashion as transgender. I know that covers an awful lot of ground, and what it does a little bit is this. And I found a great quote in doing some research for this segment, and Gianna, I got to thank her for this. In the public and private health sector, transgender people are generally not well received. This country has a long way to go on how to properly treat the LGBT community. Governments must pass laws that will give the LGBT community healthcare rights equal to everyone else. And is it fair to say, Gianna, that fear of discrimination will cause most people, or a lot of people within the LGBT community, to not seek traditional health care?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing is that the health care for transgender people are pushed aside, as I said before, because of the people that are LGBT in the community, they have not been, they're scared of going to a medical for health care or psychological care. And they feel, oh, we're not going because of our LGBT community, what section, what,
of your
of the gender.
of your gender or
Right.
your orientation
Right.
or your gender expression.
Right.
Okay, I do know for a fact that there are several doctors here in town, one of them that I go to, and that's Dr. Jennifer Burnett. She specializes in LGBT healthcare. But here in Fresno, have you run across other doctors that specialize or don't treat members of the, we're going to talk strictly about the trans community here. Okay. Have you run across in your travels doctors that kind of shy away from the trans community because they don't know how to treat us? And I'm talking about the male to female trans people, and I'm talking about the female to male trans community here. Have you run across doctors here in, I'm just going to use Fresno as an example, because my doctor's in Selma, so that's a little bit outside of the area, but have you run across doctors that are afraid to treat the trans community?
Yes, I have come across doctors in the past that have been pushing the transgender away. And it's not fair to transgender people from male to female and female to male. I've looked at it as they're normal too, but doctors, they just push them away, and they are afraid to treat transgender.
Okay, what about, and again, I'm asking somebody who doesn't really know about the surgical side of things.
Right.
This is more geared towards me, but I do know that there are several noted surgeons here in California that will do what I refer to as the final step surgeries. The male to female surgery itself is rather lengthy, as you have been so gracious in pointing out to me in the past. But the female to male surgeries, have you run across any surgeons here in town, here in Fresno, that will do gender reassignment surgery? Or do you know of any?
I do not know of any at this time, but the thing is that I will educate and find out that for transgender, that from male to female and female to male, I see transgender people that are normal, that they want the surgery, and I feel that the only way that transgender community, as well as the LGBT, but mainly the transgender community, they feel they need to be aware. The people that are not aware of this, and the doctors, I don't know, they push them aside too. They are afraid to get to know people like the transgender community. And I also feel that they need to be educated and not be so afraid. They think that they're afraid of the transgender community for a long time. I've seen a lot of doctors that push them away and that they don't want to treat them because of the fact that they're transgender. And I believe that education is important.
Okay, I get the education. I get the education angle of things. What I'm more interested in is it fear of discrimination, or is it fear just on the doctor's point of view, or is it more of a specialty from what you've seen that a lot of doctors here in town, they don't know how to treat the trans community, because there are some issues with the trans community, with the WPATH rules, which is the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. There are certain rules that the trans community has to follow for them to get into treatment for their surgery. Have you, or do you know of any doctors here in town that specifically in the psychological side?
No, I do not. And the reason why I say I don't know is because of the fact that they are just afraid from a doctor's point of view. And the point of view is you have to be, educating the doctors, but also they need to take a, step up and feel that not to be afraid of the transgender community. And I have seen a lot of things during my journeys. And
Can you name a couple of things that you've seen?
I have seen doctors push the transgender community away. They're so afraid they don't even, it's on their part. Things that have, the way I see it with the doctors, I have had doctors tell me that, and on my journeys, that they are scared of the transgender community.
Why is that?
The way it
Just
is
give me your own personal
my
opinion.
own personal opinion. I feel that, from my point of view as a bisexual woman, but I know a little bit about the transgender community. They have done a lot of things to push the transgender community away. And from my point of view, in my experience, I've watched a lot of transgender people not go to the doctors because they are afraid to have the doctors say what they want. And, and the transgender community are afraid. And that's how I look at it. And when I see doctors push them away, and they tell me, the transgender community has told me up front that they are so afraid to go to the doctors, especially in psychiatry and counseling, is because of the fact that they feel that they don't want to go because of their transgender, the female to male, male to female. And for myself, I look at that and I'm disgusted by the way the doctors have treated the transgender community.
From a personal point of view, one of the things that is a big holdback is in the WPATH rules that you must get 2 letters of recommendation from 2 different doctors. One has to be an MD, and the other has to be a PhD.
Right.
Have you seen doctors or psychologists or psychiatrists that are afraid to put their name on a letter recommending someone for surgery? Or have you seen doctors unwilling to put their name on a document recommending for surgery? I know I have. And have you seen that as well?
I have seen that. I've seen it through your eyes. From my personal experience, I deal with a lot of transgender people in their lives, and I see a lot of discrimination. That is not the way to handle transgender people. You are as human as anybody else. Of course you're going to make mistakes. Of course we're going to do what we do. And the way I look at it, from my side, my personal view is that transgender people are human. They make mistakes just as anybody else. And that's how I look at it.
Okay, in the final minute of this segment, you've been actively involved with my healthcare. Not only with my healthcare, but also thankfully trying to keep my schedule onto some semblance of a track. But have you seen, and just give me a quick answer, yes or no, have you seen doctors that are unwilling or afraid to treat someone like me, who's very open, very out front about their gender expression?
Yes, I have seen that.
Okay. And with that, I think we'll close this segment. And again, I thank you, Gianna, for your answers, and we'll be back right after this.
Look at this house right across the street from Fresno City College. You could own it for $900 a month. Plus, it has an apartment you could rent out for $400 a month. Come to our open house this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Let the professionals at William L. Mitchell Landscaping make your lawn and gardens beautiful. If you need a new lawn, landscape design, or if you need someone to take over the weekly drudgery of caring for your yard, William L. Mitchell Landscaping can meet your needs. With his ornamental horticulture degree from Fresno State, Bill is qualified to take care of all phases of your landscape construction and design. Call Bill at William L. Mitchell Landscaping at 283-8849. That's Bill Mitchell, 283-8849.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and Eames, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
Viewers of Central Valley Talk, what is your home worth? The experienced agents at Mike Briggs Properties are offering a free property valuation if you mention Central Valley Talk. Find the value of your property for free. Call Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758. Mention Central Valley Talk. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow, I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
What? I'm Mike Briggs, owner and CEO at CentralValleyTalk.com. If you like talk radio, you'll love CentralValleyTalk.com. All local, all live, all the time. CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
And welcome back to segment 4 of the Michelle Nastasis LGBT Awareness Show. And in this segment, we're going to talk about one of my favorite organizations here in the Valley, and that's transemotion.org. To give you some background on Transemotion, they are the Valley's largest transgender-only support group. They provide and help provide access to health care, both physical and mental health care, help with discrimination issues, housing, transportation, and other discriminatory issues, provide community support, and they also provide a safe place for the community to freely interact with other transgender, other trans people in a safe environment. They hold a series of events during the month, 2 of which, one is their monthly dinner social, which is held just up the street from the studios here at Ming's Chinese Restaurant. And they also hold a monthly support meeting, which is usually on the first Saturday of each month, and that's held over at the LGBT Community Center. One of the most important events of the year that Transemotion sponsors is an event called the Transgender Day of Remembrance. And that is usually held on November 20th to 22nd. This year, it's going to be held here in Fresno on the 22nd of November, which is a Saturday. They're going to hold a valley-wide event for Transgender Day of Remembrance, or as the acronym is known as, is TDOR. And it's a day of remembrance for the members of the trans community that have passed before us. And I just got the other day the press release from Trans Emotion about this year's event, and I'll give you some of the highlights of it. Trans Emotion and the Holistic Cultural Education Wellness Center of Fresno are going to be co-sponsoring this year's TDOR. Trans Emotion, which is a nonprofit organization, offers outreach, education, support, and advocacy for the trans community within the Fresno and surrounding areas. The Holistic Cultural Center also provides diversity and inclusion for underserved communities within the Fresno area. They help address the mental and behavioral health related issues in underserved and unserved communities in the community. Why is TDOR so important to the trans community? It's a living memorial for those that have come before us, for individuals that have committed suicide, have passed away through other causes, or in some cases have been murdered. I know personally, within the last year, I've lost, 5 to 8
Yes.
good and dear friends due to natural causes. I've had a couple of dear friends murdered. I've had others that have been harassed and beaten and a few other things. And I know you've been with me on several occasions when you've heard it, and so have I. Somebody will yell out, "Oh, look, it's a guy in a dress." And it gets tough to ignore that without, like you've said throughout the entire program, to educate the community. One of the things that this event is to do and is to increase community awareness about the violence that the trans community suffers. And a shocking statistic, and when you read this to me the other day when you saw the release come out, that the trans community suffers a 43% or higher suicide rate for those that are transitioning from one gender to the next. And that alone, it scares me. And you know me well enough to know that I don't scare easy. But when I know that 1 in 4 of my trans brothers and sisters will commit suicide or try to commit suicide at least one time during their transition, it's going to be a very, very difficult thing to overcome. The TDOR for this year in Fresno is, like I said earlier, going to be held at the Holistic Cultural and Education Center on Kings Canyon. It's at Kings Canyon and Winery, right near Big Lots. And it's going to be Saturday, November 22nd from 3 to 8 p.m. And there will be speakers, there'll be performances, a little of everything to celebrate the diversity just within the trans community. And you know a lot of the people that, within the trans community. Can you expound on some of the things that you've experienced since we've been married, but also since we've been seeing each other, that Trans Emotion does for the trans community?
the trans community has done a lot. Okay, when it comes down to speakers, performers singing, and raising money for the cause. And I believe that within my journeys, I've come across a lot of people that have been speaking on their personal beliefs and how trans emotion has helped them overcome a lot. But it's also not only mental, like Michelle said, it's also the physical part of it. And it's difficult for the transgender people to express their feelings. And a lot of them do commit suicide for this. A lot of them will not go to the mental health places, and also they get murdered for hate crimes. And hate crime is very, very not even tolerated, but it does. A lot of people, a lot of transgender community, or not the community, but the transgender people, like Michelle said, they get murdered because of hate crime, and that people do not understand the awareness of a transgender person. And with the way I look at it is that you can't do a hate crime. That is illegal everywhere. Hate crimes are a federal and state offense. I've come across that, and it's not the way for people to handle it. And they will be punished for it. And when a hate crime is committed, you are in deep trouble with the law and the police. And, it's not...
The FBI, gets involved in trans hate crimes. One of the things that just happened within the last few months is a very, very dear friend of mine who is one of the leading drag queens here in town, had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars of costumes and wigs and makeup burned right in their front yard. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at their vehicle and burned their vehicle to the ground, and unfortunately in the vehicle was a lot of their wigs, their makeup, their dresses, and some of these dresses that my friends in the drag community wear are hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, and wigs again are upwards of $100 to $200, $300, some cases $1,000, and tens of thousands of dollars of makeup and brushes and things that go along with it, and the jewelry that go with it. So yeah, they're having an event like TDOR to celebrate the trans community and to celebrate the lives, but also to remember those that have lost their lives because we are members of the trans community, I think is going to be and this I think is the 22nd or 23rd year of TDOR here in Fresno, and Trans Emotion does a wonderful, wonderful job of putting this all together. Bring your camera, because when you see people that are in the trans community or the drag king, drag queen community in full makeup, or as it is referred to as full face, it is just an amazing transformation from one gender to the other. And both Gianna and I know that TDOR is a event worth going to. It's an event worth seeing, and it's also an event that will help educate the trans community, help educate the LGBT community, and it will also raise awareness within the LGBT community. And with that, I'm getting the wrap it up signal, and this will end the very first episode of the Michelle Nastasis LGBT Awareness Show. And I'd like to thank my co-host and wife, for helping me out on this today. Gianna Cafton, thank you, honey.
No problem. That I
And
appreciate.
we will see you all next Friday at 2 o'clock. Until then, if you've got any questions, contact me through the station. Thanks, y'all. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
What's new at the Fulton 55? Fulton 55, Fresno's hottest venue at Fulton and Divisadero. Look at this house right across the street from Fresno City College. You could own it for $900 a month. Plus, it has an apartment you could rent out for $400 a month. Come to our open house this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Go to MikeBriggsProperties.com for details.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
Let the professionals at William L. Mitchell Landscaping make your lawn and gardens beautiful. If you need a new lawn, landscape design, or if you need someone to take over the weekly drudgery of caring for your yard, William L. Mitchell Landscaping can meet your needs. With his ornamental horticulture degree from Fresno State, Bill is qualified to take care of all phases of your landscape construction and design. Call Bill at William L. Mitchell Landscaping at 283-8849. That's Bill Mitchell, 283-8849.
Hello, I'm Shelley at Horn Photo, and it's time to do more with your pictures. Get those images out of your camera, off your computer, and rescued from deep within your phone, and turn them into memorable photo keepsakes and gifts. Here at Horn Photo in Fresno, we have many wonderful photo items that we produce in-house, and we're here to help you find your individual style. So now's the time. Stop by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at Blackstone and Eames, or visit us online at hornphoto.com to explore the possibilities.
CentralValleyTalk.com